Hello everyone, this is Mr. Millen. I'm here with uh, some example problems worked out. We covered this worksheet in class, but this is the complete video on each one of these problems on special right triangles. So let's jump right into it. The first thing that you need to determine is what type of special right triangle that you have. So in number one, you're going to be looking for your 45-degree angle, a 30-degree angle, or a 60-degree angle. So in number one, what type of angle do you have? Well, you should see you have a 45-degree angle here. And the 45-degree angle immediately tells you I have a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Okay. Now, a 45, 45, 90 triangle has two properties, two formulas, so to speak. The first one is that the legs are congruent. The legs are congruent, okay? So if you have one leg, you already know what the other leg is. So in this case, what side are you given? Well, if you see here, your 7 is touching the right angle, which means that the 7 is a leg. Well, since the legs are congruent, your other leg, which is y, must be the same. So that means that y must also equal 7. Now, the other formula that you have, the other property for 45, 45, 90 triangles is that the hypotenuse is equal to the leg times the square root of 2. And in this case, we don't know what the hypotenuse is, but we do know what the leg is. So our hypotenuse is x. The leg is equal to 7 times root 2. So x is just 7 root 2. So that's the basics of a 45, 45, 90 triangle. The legs have to be the same, and the hypotenuse is the leg length times root 2. So now let's look at number 2. Number 2, what type of special right triangle do you have? Well, you should see a 45-degree angle here, which means you have another 45, 45, 90 triangle. And since you have a 45, 45, 90 triangle, the same rules apply. So the first is that the legs are congruent. And since the legs are congruent, if you have a leg already, then you know that what the other leg is. So do you already know a leg here, or do you only know your hypotenuse? Well, your side here that's labeled 6 root 2 is touching the right angle, so that means this is a leg. So our leg equals 6 root 2. And our other leg must be the exact same. So B is our other leg, so that means that B must also be 6 root 2. So that just leaves us to find A. And A is our hypotenuse, which follows the formula. The hypotenuse equals the leg times root 2. So in this case, your hypotenuse is A. Your leg is 6 root 2. And then you multiply it by root 2. Now, when you do this, if you type this in the calculator, be very careful. I want to show you what I mean. So we're going to go to Desmos here, and we're going to type in 6 square root of 2, and make sure that you see how my cursor is underneath the radical still. You need to make sure your cursor is outside the radical before you multiply by the square root of 2. So that's going to give you 12. So in this case, A is equal to 12. Now, I use the keyboard shortcut, like the typing shortcut for square root, but down here, you can see that here is your square root button that you would press, okay? So 6 root 2 times root 2 gives you 12. So be very careful about that when you do your problems. All right, so let's look at number 3. Number 3, what type of special right triangle do we have? Well, we have a 60-degree angle here, which means that we have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. And there are two formulas that we use with a 30, 60, 90 triangle. The first is that the hypotenuse is equal to the short leg times 2. So 2 times the short leg. And your second formula is that the long leg is equal to the short leg times √3. But here's what's important about a 30, 60, 90 triangle. You always need to make sure that you have the short leg before you try to find either your hypotenuse or long leg. If you don't have your short leg, then you need to find it. Okay, so in this case, 5√3 is opposite the 60-degree angle, which means that's the long leg. So we need to find our short leg first, and our short leg is y. So we know that our long leg, since we know our long leg and we want to find our short leg, we have to use the second formula to find our short leg, because it's the one that relates the long and the short leg together. So the long is equal to the short leg times √3. Our long leg is 5√3. Our short leg is y, and then times √3. Now you should be able to easily tell there that y is equal to 5. But if not, what you can do here, since you're multiplying by √3, and just like any other number, you would divide it to get rid of it from the y. You divide both sides by √3. Your √3's cancel there, and that leaves you with 5 is equal to y. So you know y is 5. And so now you can find x, which is your hypotenuse. So now you need to use your short leg to find the hypotenuse. So your hypotenuse is equal to 2 times the short leg. So your hypotenuse is x, which is 2 times whatever your short leg is, which is 5. So x is equal to 10. All right, number 4, what type of special right triangle are we dealing with here? Well, we see a 45-degree angle, so this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Now in this case, what side does the triangle give you? Does it give you a leg or does it give you a hypotenuse? Well, you see that the side opposite from the right angle is the one that's labeled. So you know your hypotenuse, but you don't know a leg. So in order to determine the value of the leg, you need to use your 45, 45, 90 formula, which is hypotenuse equals the leg times √2. I'm going to find x. It's not going to matter in the long run, and I'll explain why in just a minute. I do apologize for the light. So your hypotenuse is 5√2. Your leg is x times √2. You should be able to see that x would be equal to 5, but just like before, you divide by √2 to get rid of it. The √2's cancel, and you get 5 is equal to x. So if x is 5 and this is a 45, 45, 90, what would y be equal to? Well, the legs are congruent in a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So that means that y must be the same as x, which is 5. All right, number 5. Number 5, what type of special right triangle are we dealing with here? Well, we see we have a 60-degree angle here, which means we're dealing with a 30, 60, 90. So again, what you need to do is always have your short leg first. So do you have your short leg here, or are you given a different side? Well, our short leg here is y, but that's our 4 is not our short leg. Our 4 would be our hypotenuse. So we know the hypotenuse, and we still need to know our short leg before we can find our long leg. So for a 30, 60, 90 triangle, the relationship between the hypotenuse and the short leg is that the hypotenuse is equal to 2 times the short leg. Your hypotenuse in this case is 4, which is equal to 2 times your short leg, which is y. You divide both sides by 2, and you get that 2 is equal to y. Now that you have your short leg, you can find your long leg by using the relationship between the long leg and the short leg. That is, long equals short times √3. So your long leg is x, your short leg is 2 times √3. So you get x is equal to 2√3. All right, number 6. Number 6, what type of special right triangle are you dealing with? Well, you see that you're dealing with a 30-degree angle there. So you are dealing with a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Now you need your short leg first. So do you have your short leg in this one, or are you given a different side? Well, you should see that your 9√3 would be your long leg. So we still need to find what y is to find our short leg. So we use the relationship between the long and the short leg, which is long equals short times √3. Your long leg is 9√3. Your short leg is y, and then times √3. Divide both sides by √3, and you find that y is equal to 9. Now that you know your short leg, you should be able to find your hypotenuse. So you use the relationship between the hypotenuse and the short leg, which is the hypotenuse equals 2 times the short leg. Your hypotenuse is x. You take 2 times your short leg, which is 9. So x is equal to 18. Okay. So for the most part, you know, this is more of the same here on 7 through 14. So, you know, you can try those on your own and come back and check your answers and all of that. But I will be going through these quicker just because we've talked about the different things. So I'm still going to work these out, but they'll be hopefully at a bit quicker of a pace. So number 7. We see that we have a 60-degree angle here, which means we're dealing with a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Now your side that's labeled here is a 24. That is your hypotenuse. So we need to find the short leg first. So to find that, we need to take our formula hypotenuse equals 2 times the short leg. Our hypotenuse is 24, which equals 2 times the short leg, which is y. Divide both sides by 2, and you find that y is equal to 12. Now we can use our short leg to determine our long leg. Our long leg is equal to the short leg times √3. So the long leg, is x. Your short leg is 12, and then times √3. So x is equal to 12√3. Number 8, you're dealing with a 30, 60, 90 triangle. And this time you do have your short leg, so you can go ahead and find both the hypotenuse and the long leg. I'm going to start out with the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is always twice the length of the short leg. Your hypotenuse in this case is m, which is 2 times your short leg, and your short leg is 8. So m equals 2 times 8, which would be 16. Now we go back and use our short leg to find our long leg. So the long leg is equal to the short leg times √3. So our long leg is n. Our short leg is 8. times root 3 means that n is equal to 8 root 3. Number 9, we're dealing with a 45, 45, 90 triangle. And the first thing about a 45, 45, 90 triangle is that the legs are congruent. So in this case, we do have a leg, which is 6. So since the legs are congruent, we know that V must be 6 as well. Now to find our hypotenuse U, we use the formula hypotenuse equals the leg times root 2. Our hypotenuse is U. Our leg is 6 times root 2, which means that U is equal to 6 root 2. Number 10, we're dealing with a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and we're given the short leg here. Our short leg is 12. So we can use our two formulas to find the hypotenuse and the long leg. So our hypotenuse is twice the length of the short leg. So our hypotenuse is x, which equals 2 times our short leg of 12. So x is equal to 24. Now to find our long leg, we take the short leg and multiply it by root 3. Our long leg is y. Our short leg is 12 times root 3 gives us that y is equal to 12 root 3. All right, number 11. Number 11, you have a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and this time you're given the long leg, so you need to find your short leg first. So the long leg is equal to the short leg times root 3. Your long leg is 6 root 3. Your short leg is y times root 3. Divide both sides by root 3, and you get that 6 is equal to y. Now that you know your short leg, you can use that to find your hypotenuse. So your hypotenuse is equal to 2 times your short leg. Your hypotenuse is x, so it's 2 times 6, so x is equal to 12. Number 12, you're dealing with a 30, 60, 90 triangle. And in this case, you're given the hypotenuse. So you need to use that to find your short leg first. So your hypotenuse is equal to 2 times the short leg. Your hypotenuse is 10, and your short leg is v. Divide both sides by 2, and you get that v is equal to 5. Now you can use your short leg to find your long leg u. So the long leg is equal to your short leg times root 3. Your long leg is u. Your short leg is 5 times root 3 gives you your long leg to be 5 root 3. Number 13, you're dealing with a 45, 45, 90 triangle, and you're given the hypotenuse. So u and v are going to end up being the same because the legs are congruent. So we need to find the leg first. So our hypotenuse is equal to the leg times root 2. Our hypotenuse is 28 root 2. Our leg is v, and then times root 2. Divide both sides by root 2, and you get that 28 is equal to v. But 28 is also equal to u because both of the legs are the same. And your last one here, number 14, you're dealing with a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Your leg is 5 root 2. That means your other leg must also be 5 root 2. So we know y equals 5 root 2. So to find our hypotenuse, we know that the hypotenuse is equal to the leg times root 2. Our hypotenuse is x. Our leg is 5 root 2 multiplied by root 2. And if you were to plug that in the calculator, you would find that x is equal to 10. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope this video helped with the special right triangles. I know there's a lot of formulas to remember as far as this goes, but you know, I hope that it does help. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I'm not going to do a video on the Pythagorean theorem and its converse. I'm just going to post the key for that because, well, most of it was already covered in the instructional videos that we did, okay? There's a bunch of examples that are worked out as well. So that's going to be it, guys, and I appreciate you watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.